Hey, Darkbender102 here. Not Darkbender102, I don't have a 102 at the end of my name. I've been spending way too much time with Plastic 102. I'm doing the Kingdom Hearts playthrough with. Yeah, this is a little itty bitty late by about, depending on how long it's going to take to edit and everything, around 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. I apologize, a lot of stuff had just happened. Like, I got hit with the copyright strike, so I just didn't want to record anything for a while. And then I just got incredibly busy with like school, and a lot of other things just happened. And then I was planning to go on a trip somewhere during spring break, but then I got the flu, so we had to come back, and I still am rather sick. But when I don't record these, it stresses me out. It just does. It's not healthy. That's just the way it works. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to actually record this and get it posted within a reasonable amount of time, and then record the next two, and just everything will hopefully be fine. Like, if you can hear my voice right now. Also, I apologize if you hear cars and stuff over there. Yeah, just like my neighbors just got rubbing their edge a lot. Yeah, if you can hear my voice, just I'm all decongested and stuff. But a lot of heavy stuff does happen in this chapter, so I came prepared with some antidepressants. I know they work because the guy at the corner of the street said that if they're multicolored, it means they work better, something like that. And if the devil does decide to make an appearance, I have Doc on standby, and I also have my Zonpakuto, so we're all good. Alright, so let's actually get on with this chapter a month late. I mean, that's not really any different from how most of my schedule goes, because I think at one point I got 2 months behind. I'm great at this. Also, this video may be cut up into 2 parts due to the copyright strike, and this, chances are, because most of my Bleach videos do this, it'll go longer than my time allows. So if it gets split up into 2 parts, then that's why. Okay, so let's actually get to the chapter. What is this, 3 minutes in, and I haven't even started talking about the chapter. I'm off to a great start. Okay, so the chapter starts off right where I did last time, with Asuka just kind of falling after getting his heart ripped out. And Miriam just kind of sitting over him, he just kind of throws it aside. And Askin's still talking, just kind of how are you here? I thought I hit you with my death ball and everything. Gift ball, same thing. And Keith's just kind of well, Grimjo's just kind of you're still talking after I just ripped out your heart. And Keith just kind of comes up and says oh, well, I healed him, and he kind of goes on to explain that, the Oronkars who had their mask ripped off by Aizen, when resurrected, their Oronkar Ryotsu is completely transformed into Hollow Ryotsu, so it's kind of the same thing with Yoruichi, where her Ryotsu kept changing to one personality, but this is, changing depending on, kind of more what they are, because, when an Oronkar goes into the resurrection, they're closer, they're not exactly the same, but they're closer to what their old Hollow form was, so that's why he's able to hurt now and able to move better, because he transformed into he went into his resurrection, and he's just kind of I thought that might prove interesting for this fight, and I guess that does make sense, because if changing your personality, if your mood can change your Ryotsu, then transforming from a more humanish thing into a more of a hollow being. Yeah, because Grimjo's not completely turned back into his hollow form, because he used to be just a flat out jaguar. I don't know why I said it so weird. But now he's in his resurrection, so he's closer to that. That's kind of just what it is. And Askin's just kind of saying you saw that far ahead. And Keith's just kind of no, I just thought of multiple different like ways that this would plan out, so then I couldn't be like caught off guard. I couldn't be caught with my pants down, because this is a war. If we're not always prepared, then with multiple ways of winning, we will end up losing at some point, because that's just what war is. And Aspen kind of starts like talking back to him. The Grimjaw just kind of like stabs him with his hand again. And I mean, like, I don't really know what he's like trying to get at there. There's nothing else to grab. He was just trying to get him to like shove. Just like, boom. I don't know how to turn him off. I mean, there aren't no batteries. What do I need to take out of them? Come on, man. And so that's when like, ask Kisuke, not Askin. Kisuke just kind of like says like, that's enough. Kisuke just says to Grimjaw, I don't want to talk. Kisuke just kind of says, that's enough, Grimjaw, you're fine, you don't need to do any more. Well, I mean, he doesn't really say that, he just kind of says, like, Grimjaw just, like, all solemnly. And Grimjaw says, well, that's our agreement. Our agreement was, you help me defeat my enemy, and then, whatever, fight Ichigo, probably, even though at this point, Grimjaw would probably get his butt kicked, unless he had, like, a Segunde Tapo, which he probably does. Most likely. But at the same time, Askin's not the only enemy, so did Kisuke see that far ahead, saying like, okay, so I'll fight this guy, but he'll just be like so amazing in every single way that he'll take down like the majority of us, like the majority of like the super powerful people, but I need you to help me fight him. Is that like, I doubt like Kisuke saw that far ahead, but then again he is Kisuke, so it's not like completely beyond him. But that's when like suddenly like there's like a ton of pressure on Grimjaw, and I kind of thought that it was like, this is someone's spiritual pressure probably, but then turns out Askin is still alive. Of course he is. He is just too great to go out without being like the last laugh somehow. And he just kind of says, upon my death, the power of the Gift Ball Deluxe magnifies, and this does make a considerable amount of sense, since his entire imagination, no, not imagination, that's just what it reminded me of, since his entire power does revolve around death. So when he does die, it would make sense that something would happen. And Askin just kind of says, like, he'd love to say that you've earned my respect, but I'm afraid all you've done has been for naught. Because clearly he has no strength left to get out of here. So he's just kind of like apologizing in advance, but he's just like, oh, well, I'm sure I'm never getting caught with my pants down, might just figure something out. And then he's just kind of like, at this point, I just sound like a broken record, so I won't bother going through the whole lethal spill again. And that's the end of Askin Naklevar, the greatest stern ritter ever. One of the greatest villains, if not characters, of the entire series. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Askin, why'd you leave the team? You're so long and amazing and you still need to go. Why did you not even No, hang on, I need a minute. Stop. I have considerably less of these, and dropped one over there. Yeah, so I suppose we should get back to the chapter, even though, why should we continue now without asking? Oh, I suppose they're actually helping. Okay, let's keep going. So, after he dies, thing that hurts me right here. the death ball patterns just kind of like, like the whole like zigzag kind of thing. Those start like getting like expanding out. But I don't know if that's like making like the death ball like enclose around him, which would kind of make sense if it would magnify, because like it's coming in closer, so there's like less room for like the poison to be in, like making it denser. It's kind of like that, I guess, because it's just like making it a smaller space, so there's like less room to go. I don't know where else I was going with that, or if it's like expanding, which I couldn't even like think of something stupid like I just said for it getting smaller and why it would like cause more damage. But we see way off on like a ledge, like just super far out. You see Nell standing there, like, when was the last time she appeared? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was around chapter 640. It was anywhere between 630 and 640. It was something there. I'm 100% sure. I'm 90% sure of that. Yeah, I think that's like the rough range of when she disappeared. And she just kind of like says, oh, so like this is like one of the 1 to 5 situations it came down to, which doesn't make sense because she's like referring to Kisuke here. But that doesn't really make sense because how would Kisuke know about Death Ball when he had time to talk to Nell, because he came here and then asked and used the Death Ball Deluxe, and so did he just like ask and shoot it at the little version at Grimjow and be like, he can chances are he can make a bigger version of that traps people inside instead of just like hitting them. You know what, Nell, come here, plan 29 or something. And so she's just kind of saying like, oh, this sucks. Looks like it'll take like 2 round trips to get in and out, but I really wanted to go meet up with Ichigo. This sucks, man. Well, then she just like looks like really sad, acting as if something super bad will happen. Because chances are it will, because like, now that's compressing. We have Yoruichi and Yuichiro, who are pretty much both dead. Well, I mean, Yoruichi not so much, but Yuichiro definitely. I mean, Yoruichi is probably way closer than Kisuke and Grimjow are. Not as close as Yuichiro, because he was like bleeding out like the eyes and the mouth, and that was a fun picture to look at. But yeah. So she could be like thinking like, well, those two are close to dying because their spirit energy could be like getting smaller, like Dragon Ball Z and like Naruto and like all of these, like when they start getting weaker, their energy starts depleting, obviously. So that could be what she's thinking, or she could be thinking, I'm going to die here. Don't really see how she'd have a higher chance of dying than anyone else in there. But if she does manage to, if she does die, that means anyone she doesn't get out will also die. So yeah, that would suck to have like a kill count of like 5 come from this, but then again, it would make sense if they all did die in this chapter because, 666. That was the weirdest laugh I think I've ever done. But, yeah, so he just, like, takes off and starts going towards, like, the little crack that Kisuke made with his, restructuring powers, like, to hold the stitches that it, like, let Grimjow in. And Kisuke just starts, like, hacking up blood everywhere. And also Rami just, like, collapses around behind him. He's just kind of, like, looks like this is the end of the road for me, which, if Kisuke dies too, no one will ever be able to handle that. The heart cannot handle that much Kupo. Don't do that to us. I mean, if you are going to kill him, like, wait until, like, the next battle is over, or maybe the battle with Hashwolf is over, and then show him dead. But not so soon. No one can handle that. And he's just gonna, like, forgive me for leaving the rest of it to you, Kurosaki and Kuchiki. And then we get the Bleach,